Hey, what's up? This is Makhtar from codingmoney.com. Welcome to the very first video. You're probably wondering, what is Coding Money? Let's go to the website and check it out. codingmoney.com. Oops, nothing in there. Looks like we gotta build the actual website. So here's what we're gonna do. By the end of this tutorial video, you'll be able to make this nice and simple under construction page. As you can see, we have a logo here, some text to let you know something really cool is coming soon, and we have social media links with animation for you to get in touch with me. At the bottom, I have a form where you can submit your email address to subscribe to my mailing list. And we're going to do this in 3 steps. First of all, we'll code it in HTML. Secondly, we'll make it pretty by styling it with CSS. Finally, we'll upload it to the World Wide Web. Before we can get started, you will need a code editor. There's so many out there, like Atom, Bracket, Sublime Text. If you're willing to spend a little bit of money, you can get Dreamweaver. You can even use Notepad or Notepad++. My favorite is Visual Studio Code. It is free. You can go ahead and download that. I've already downloaded it. So let's get started. I'll create a folder on the desktop. I'll call it Coming Soon. I'll create a file called index.html. Get rid of the .txt extension. File ending with HTML tells the browser that it is a HTML document. File name index is a very common name for the home page or first page of a website. We'll create a folder here. Call it img for images. And I'm going to copy over a couple of images like my logo and background. Create another folder for CSS. Inside CSS, create a file, call it style.css. Get rid of the .txt to make it a CSS file and click yes. That's simple. Our file structure is done. Let's open up Visual Studio Code, and you're gonna open the folder we just created. Select it, and it is open. I would suggest you download this extension called Live Server. It's gonna make it easy for you to preview the changes in the browser. Open up index.html. We are ready to start coding here. First of all, we need to tell the browser what version of HTML we're going to use, and we can do that using the doc type declaration. Just below the doc type, create a set of HTML tags, and in Visual Studio Code, if you type HTML and press tab, it's going to autocomplete the opening and closing tags for you. This is the opening tag, and notice the / in the closing tag. HTML is the root level element. Inside HTML, we have 2 elements, head and body. Things like title, link to CSS, JavaScript, meta tag information, all goes inside the head element. Let's link to the CSS file. CSS/style.css. Link to favicon. Replace style sheet with icon. img/favicon. And we'll use Font Awesome for the social media icons. We can get that from here. Click copy, paste here. Notice the link is a self-closing tag. You do not need a closing tag for the link. And let's get to the body. Let's create a div. Div tag defines a division or section in an HTML document. Let's give it an ID container, as it will hold everything on the page. Think of it as a box which will contain everything, and we'll have another box inside container we'll literally call it a box. So in Visual Studio Code, if you type div with the hash key and then the name of the ID, press tab, it's going to create the div for you with the ID assigned to it already. Let's display the image. We can do that using img. I will display my logo. Alt attribute is the description of the image, so I'm just going to say coding money logo. And if I save it and press Alt L, Alt O, you can see the change in the browser. You can see the logo here. Let's create a paragraph and assign it a class. For the class, we can do the same as we did for the logo. P dot. For the class view, use the dot and then txt construction. It's going to create a paragraph and assign class to it. I'm going to say coming soon. Get in touch. I'll create another div for the social icons. Call it social holder. You may have used bullet list in word processor programs. It's a little bit different here in HTML. We call it unordered list and the tag is UL. We have list items inside the unordered list, that is LI, and we can create a link using the anchor tag. It starts with an A. I do not know the URL to my YouTube channel yet, so I'll copy that later. I'm going to use the hash, the pound key right now, and I'm going to actually assign two classes to this link. I'll call it social icon and social icon YouTube. I'll create that later on with CSS. Target underscore blank will open the link in a new window. To use the Font Awesome icon, we use the I, assign it a class, FA for Font Awesome, FA dash YouTube for YouTube icon, FA.3x for the size, and I'll do the same for the others. If your code become disorganized, you can press Shift Alt F to organize the code in a clean way. Let's check the changes in the browser to see how it looks so far. Okay, let's create div with the class of subscribe for the subscription form. I'll use MailChimp for the email subscription sign up form. Go to mailchimp.com. Go ahead and sign up for a free account. I've already done that, so I'm going to log in. Username. Type your password. So I'm logged on to my MailChimp account. Go ahead and click create. Find the sign up form. Click begin. And here's the form. I only need the email address, so show only required field. Include the form title. I don't need that. Show interest group fields. Now just copy the code and paste it here, just like that. Okay, so get rid of the styles and the CSS file because we'll style it using our own CSS. Leave this here. I'm going to copy this button and paste it right below the email address. Get rid of the JavaScript. Alt Shift F to organize the code. And I think we're almost done. Let's create a paragraph underneath. Let's save it and check it in the browser. So far so good, nothing crazy. Let's start coding our style sheet. The syntax for CSS is very easy. We have a selector, opening bracket and closing bracket, property, and a colon, then followed by value. That's it. We have three types of selectors. You can select an HTML element just by typing the tag. Like if you want to target body, you'll just type body here. If you want to target a class, you put a dot in front of the selector. If you want to target an ID, you will use the hash key. So yeah, let's get started. First, let's select the body. Assign the font. Family of Arial. Font size 15 pixels. Color is dark gray. By default, HTML has margins and paddings. We'll set that to 0. Now let's select the container. We'll use our background image here. jpg.jpg. Let's save it and let's see in the browser. As you can see, the background is showing, but it's not showing the way we want it to be shown. We'll position the background in the center. Background position, center. We would like the background size to cover the whole page. Typo. Background repeat, no repeat. We don't want it to repeat. Assign it the width of 100% and a minimum height of 100 viewport height, which is basically same as 100%. Let's select the box. Give it a background color. RGBA 255, 255, 255, 0.9. RGBA stands for red, green, blue. Alpha is the opacity. Width of 600 pixels. Text align center, aligns everything in the center. Border radius 18 pixels. By default, HTML elements have paddings and margins, and that does not count in the width and height of that element. If you want it to be counted in the width and height of that element, this is how we're gonna do it. Box sizing, set the value to border box. Let's give it a breathing room, give it a padding, 50 pixel and 20 pixel. If it has two values, the first one is for the top and bottom, and the second value is for the left and right. Let's give it a font weight 400. Align height of 1.5. Positioning this box perfectly in the center is the tricky part. If you think about it logically, it is easy because we can position it relative to the container. So we can type position relative and we can position it absolute. So if it is 50% from the top, I mean vertically, if it is 50%, and also from the left side it's 50% top, 50%, right? So vertically it's going to be center, and from the left, if we give it a 50%, then it should be in the center, right? But there's a problem. Let's check it in the browser. Okay, what's wrong here? It's not, the CSS is for some reason not applying. So let's check the box and let's see. Okay, so we do not have the box here. Okay, we forgot to put the box, so we can do that here. And it's got to be before that. And now you can see that the CSS is being applied. As you can see, the upper right hand corner of this box is perfectly centered on the screen, 50% from the top, 50% from the left. But the problem is that this box also has width and height, which offsets the center, and that's how it's being displayed here. We can solve that using the transform property. Transform property lets you rotate, skew, scale, or translate an element. Transform. Here we'll use the translate. I'll subtract 50% vertically and another 50% horizontally. Let's save it. Check it in the browser. Now, as you can see, it's perfectly centered. Let's give this logo a little bit more space and style this text over here. Logo. I'm gonna give it a margin bottom of 50 pixels. txt construction is the class for the paragraph, and I want to assign a font size of 25 pixel. Color a darker shade of gray. Font weight, make it bold. Line height 1.2. Save it, check it. Yep, it's looking much better. Okay, so now let's work on the social icons. Get rid of these bullets. First, let's assign some margins to the social holder. Margin 54 pixels for the top, 0 pixel for the right, 15 pixels for the bottom, and 0 pixels for the left. If you have trouble forgetting what value is for which margin, you remember this keyword, trouble. TRBL, top, right, bottom, left. Okay, so let's get rid of those bullets that I showed you before. UL, select the UL inside the social holder and list style equal to none, and give it some margin 0, 10 pixel. If a margin has two values, then it means the first one is for the top, bottom, the second one is for the left and right. Okay, so let's get to the list items inside that UL inside the social holder. So social holder UL LI, I'll display it as inline block. This will display the icons next to each other. Check it. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Now let's tell the social icons. Social icon. I'm gonna give it a border radius of 10%. Cursor. I want the cursor to be a pointer. I want to display the links as an inline block. Font size 16 pixel. Line height 30 pixel. Margin 0. Some padding. Top 5 pixel. Right 20 pixel, bottom 5 pixel, 20 pixel left. Overflow hidden. With hidden value, the overflow is clipped and the rest of the content is hidden. I'll text align center. Let me give it a wee bit starting animation using transition. 0.5 second. 5 seconds. Transition allows you to change property values smoothly over a given duration. I'll go ahead and add the prefix for browser compatibility. Let's style the hover state for the social icons. Social icon hover. Border color transparent. Color white. We use transform form to rotate Y 360 degrees. A transition. Value all is, which is the default of
0.5 seconds.
I'll go ahead and copy the prefix for the browser compatibility. Let's scroll up a bit. Let's save it and check it in the browser. So as you can see, if I hover, it rotates, but it turns into white. Since the background is also white, it disappears. So let's fix that. Let's select the class that we assigned for the YouTube social icon, and that was social icon YouTube. What is the color for YouTube? It is, the hex code is CB2027. Let's also style the hover state. What I'd like you to do is change the color to white for the icon, background color to the same red 27, bar none. Well, let's see it in the browser. As you can see, YouTube icon is ready, right? So I'll do the same for the other icons here. So I've gone ahead, added the styles for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Save it and check in the browser. Yeah, as you can see, the social icons are ready. Let's work on this form. Let's go back to the HTML file and check this form. So div inside which this form exists is called subscribe, and I'll make some changes here. I do not need label, so I'll delete that. And also I want to add a placeholder, your email address, inside the text field itself, and I'll change the button to say get notified. Save it. Okay, so let's give some margins to the subscribe div. Margin top is 20 pixel, right 5 pixel, bottom 0, left 5 pixel. Let's see the field email. It has a class email, so we can target that. .email. Let's scroll up a bit. Okay, give it a padding move, 10 pixels. Font size of 15 pixels. Color, my favorite color, blue. Line height 1.4. Display inline block. Border radius of 5 pixel. Background color E6 border 0. Margin 20 pixel top, 0 pixel. Let's also style the button. Color 1.4. 19. Padding top bottom 10 pixel, left right 20 pixel. Border radius of 5 pixel. Border 0 pixel. Margin 20 pixel, 5 pixel. I wanted to change the color when you hover your mouse. Change the background color when you mouse over. Blue color. Cursor. Pointer for the hand icon. And we are done. Let's check it out in the browser one last time to make sure everything is working fine. Okay. Let me click on one of these buttons. Okay, it's
working fine. As you can see, I have no videos right now. This video is going to go there. Let me check this form to make sure it passes parameter to MailChimp. Yep, working. Okay, let's do one last thing. Go to the index.html and add a viewport meta tag here. This will make sure it looks good on mobile devices as well. I think we're ready to upload it to codingmoney.com. Save it. Let's publish it to the internet. You can use an FTP software to upload files to the server, like FileZilla. I'm going to use cPanel. For you, it may be different depending on your web hosting environment. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Click on File Manager. Double click the public_HTML. As you can see, it's empty. Nothing is in here. So click on Upload. You will see this window. Go back to your desktop, click on the Coming Soon folder, select everything, right click Send to Compressed Zip folder, click, drag and drop it here. It's been uploaded. Let's go back to File Manager, right click and reload, double click public_HTML and you can see the index.zip is here. Right click Extract, extract files. Files have been extracted. Now you can get rid of the index.zip file. Press delete and skip trash, delete. Okay, our files have been uploaded. Let's check it. codingmoney.com. As you can see, it has been successfully uploaded to codingmoney.com. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you learned something. This was my first video, and the quality and contents of videos are gonna keep on improving with each new video. So if you're interested to learn coding and making money online, subscribe to my mailing list. I'll only email you when there's a new video or I launch the website. Follow me on social media and feel free to ask me if you have any questions. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.